This is story time as a Black disabled person. If I look like I've been fighting for my life all night, it's because I have. As a recently diagnosed type 1 diabetes girly, I am still getting used to the lifestyle change and the different devices that I now rely on to make sure that my blood sugar is at an appropriate level. I initially was just using solely just pricking my finger to check my blood sugar, which is cool, but I wasn't consistent. Recently, my endocrinologist suggested that I use the Dexcom G7. And I've seen people with, the devices on their arms and things like that. And after being unsuccessful in consistently monitoring my blood sugar with the pricks, I was like, cool, right? So the one concern I had was like, is this going to hurt, inserting a device to my skin, removing the device into my skin? Good news is no. There is, as with all new things, a learning curve. So I had them put the first sample device on me at the doctor's office. And they might have told me this at that time, and my brain just didn't remember. But, I just remember it's like, okay, cool, you'll have this. And then in 10 days, you take it off and put a new one on. And then, of course, there's instructions inside the device, but who actually reads the instructions? So when it came to changing my device and putting on the new sensor, I had my aunt help me. The hardest part was just getting it off because of the adhesive. So now I know to invest in some baby oil or whatever just to make that easier. But once the new device is on, I was like, okay, cool, everything's fine. Skip forward to when it's time for me to go to bed. I'm in my bed. I go off to sleep. Next thing I know, I'm waking up at 1 a.m. because my Fitbit is going off. There's a clock face. I don't know if you can see it, where it can link to your Dexcom to show you your levels on the Fitbit. You can also have it set up to vibrate when you have high sugar level or low sugar level, or even if there's no readings come across, right? So at 1 a.m., I believe it was vibrating because nothing was coming across. And so I was in the depths of a good sleep, and I'm groggy looking to see why is my wrist vibrating? And I look and it says no readings. And then I check my phone and it's there's a sensor error, no reading. And I go learn more, and it's sometimes this is normal when you're doing a new device, within the first 24 hours, within 3 hours it should fix itself. And so I'm okay, kind of in and out of sleep. I don't know how much time passed. I check, I see readings again, I go back to sleep. 3-something in the morning, Fitbit is vibrating again. And I'm just what the hell is it this time? I look, it says I have a low sugar warning. And so last night I had put some fruit juice near my bed because my blood sugar had been kind of low yesterday, just so I can easily grab something to chew on. I grab them, I'm chewing on it, yum, 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 finish chewing, go back to bed. 5 a.m., thing goes off, low sugar, and I'm sorry. It goes off again, it says high. I'm just what? Whatever. I'm going back to bed. Next thing I know, within a very short time frame, it says low. I'm that doesn't even make sense. So what I do is I go and I prick my finger, and the device is saying that my blood sugar is at 50. And when I prick my finger, it says 100. Now, you're probably wondering, what the hell is going on? Were you having some type of crisis? No, I wasn't having a crisis, thank God. What I wasn't aware of, as it was my fault, so I can't blame anybody else, is that They tell you in those instructions that I didn't thoroughly read that you want to avoid putting the device in the area where a lot of pressure is going to be put on it, including when you lie down to go to sleep. Initially, when I got the first device, it was on my right arm. Yesterday, when I was replacing the device, it was on my left arm. This is actually the side that I'm usually leaning on and going to sleep. Because of the amount of pressure that I was putting on it while I was sleeping, it had messed up the device. So this morning around like 6 a.m., because my thing just kept going off because levels were going all over the place, I called contact support. There's like, okay, this error, wait the approximate 3 hours. If it goes away, just be mindful of not putting pressure on it. If it doesn't, you're going to have to replace the device. Well, once the 3 hours hit, I didn't even have to call them back because the app told me, yeah, the sensor has failed. You're going to need to replace that bad boy. Now, because I hadn't at this point done it by myself, I was real apprehensive. But shout out to YouTube and Dexcom's extensive instructions. I was able to do it by myself, which took away some anxiety because it actually wasn't that difficult. It was fairly easy. Just for the sake of not repeating the same issue, I put it back on this arm, but I did move it over so it's not in the exact same space as it was the first time. And then I'll just have to kind of figure out when it comes to replacing this one where to put it on my right arm so that I'm not laying on it, or I'll just have to change how I'm sleeping, which should be fun. But I'm intentionally wearing this shirt because Black disabled women matter, whereas visible disability, invisible disability